Astral plane. That looks interesting. Making magic potion? Oh, this? Uh, this is kind of like alchemy, not really serious one. If you want to talk about the history, I can show you. Greetings, our new disciples. Today we are going to introduce the Western alchemy in a brief way. Hope you will enjoy, and one day you could make your own philosopher's stone into fruition. Let's begin with our origin of the Greek study, the Norse Black Land, the ancient Egypt. The earliest known relative document about alchemy was recorded in Leiden papyrus. It contains numerous instructions and recipes about how to make counterfeits of valuable metals. In other words, the ancient Egyptians tried to dye the cheap metals with sulfur, urine, and make them shine as gold. We can see this as a way of transforming the matter's appearance, but not the essence. But scholars in the Upper Egypt and Greece start saying, why won't us just try to make real gold out of the cheap metals? That would be amazing. And now we have our very first alchemy born, which aims to transform the matters. Our great philosopher Aristotle is also a professional alchemist who developed his theory about matters. So Aristotle proposed that the earth would produce two matters, one is sulfur and the other is mercury. The sulfur represents dry and the mercury represents wet and damp. He assumed all minerals are made out of the mixtures of the sulfur and the mercury, and by adjusting the ratio, you can have all different metals in the world. And counting the other two characteristics, cold and warm, which is the temperature, the four conditions supported the existing theory about the four elements. The Greco-Persian War also facilitated the trade of knowledge between two lands, and now the Islamic world embraced the mighty alchemy and made it prosperous in the Golden Age. One of the greatest figures, Jabir, was known for his development of systematic and experimental approach to study the matter, and he also invented several key laboratory apparatus like distillators. He also built on the existing theory of the sulfur and mercury, adding the salt, called the three primary theory. Besides, he created many symbols of metals, and the process that some of them we still use today in chemistry. Together with Aristotle's theory, Jabir proposed a principle of making gold out of the lead and other cheap metals. First, this is the coordinate of the Aristotle. According to Jabir and many other Islamic alchemists, the gold is mainly warm and damp, while the lead is mainly dry and cold. So, if we want to make lead transform into gold, we have to add more ingredients with warm and damp qualities. In Jabir's book of 70, most available metal in that time was recorded along with its precise number of warm, cold, dry, and wet. When the alchemy was brought to Europe, the European alchemists developed their way to get away from the church and competitors. They developed cipher symbol and recipes. This is a simple one from the 12 keys. I really like this one. The crown of the king is a pure gold, which means the goal is to make the gold medal. The marriage represents the alloy, which is the technique we're gonna need. The old man is Saturn, and representative matter of the Saturn planet is the lead. The wolf is the son of Saturn, so that represents the symbiotic mineral of the lead, but not precise enough. The wolf's name is Mars, the name of the god of war. Now we know it represents Stibnite, which is a name comes from the shine of the spearhead. Remember, all weapons belong to the god of war. And now, blend the gold with the stibnite, and the SP or antimony will be sublimated. leaving more gold than before. But actually, the more gold we got is not real. The left material of stiffness is pure sulfur, which is yellow color that ancient alchemists thought it was gold. As the science developed over time, the traditional alchemists began to realize that metallurgy alchemy is less possible. The European alchemists developed another branch, which focused more on human's mind and soul. Albertus Magnus in the medieval time, a Greek theologist also known for his philosopher's stone study. Paracelsus, in the Renaissance period, promoted empirical alchemy and human mind soul actual study. The Greek psychologist Carl Jung, in the late Victorian period, he developed the psychological alchemy, which we will talk about in the next chapter. The key of the psychological alchemy is to use alchemical symbols to interpret a person's psychological condition. Some of you might know White and his tarot deck, which is the inverse way. White metaphor human mind development to understand alchemical process. The way that Jung helped with patients is to decipher the symbol of patient's interests and dreams, communicate its deeper meaning, and facilitate its recovery. The first case of the Miss Miller, she had headache, fatigue, and depression. The symbol in the inquiry is conoic shield. So the treatment would be to reconcile with the other self. The second case of Peter, who is an alcoholic, and the symbol in the inquiry is the philosopher's stone. So the treat would be to transform in life and be a better self. Carl Jung's alchemy has completely digressed from the original goal of the traditional alchemy, because at that time the science was powerful enough to disprove it. The periodic table of elements is founded by Mendeleev in 1863. This modern list has proved that traditional alchemy is impossible. Also, the mass energy equivalence equation founded by Einstein points out the energy to use atomic collider to make gold atom is incredibly huge. And the cost of making gold is much more higher than the value of products. So, who's gonna do that? It seems that the traditional alchemy has entered a dead end, but modern chemistry and physics is another way of the alchemy. So, dispose, still inquisitive, and may see you in another day. Thanks.